Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Reley Career Talks. I'm your host, Foley Asamoah.
Hi, now Rebecca Puza. Welcome back.
Yes, and we have another great guest, two great guests too. One of them is a great friend of mine too. We were in what's it called? Physical therapy.
Yes, physical therapy.
Yes. She trained me,
I did not train you. I was in there struggling myself. Okay? Physical therapy is hard. Like it's the simplest like movements, but they hurt.
Oh my God, yes. Yes. Our therapists were like, hey, no, do it like this. I was like, I'm trying to walk. All right. But my introduction can't do them any justice too. So please, you guys introduce yourselves, your names, and yes.
You got to introduce ourselves. Okay.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. All right. Well, I guess I'll start. So my name is Sierra. And I am here with my co-host from my podcast. And her name is Ebony.
I just want you to do my introduction for me.
Oh, you want me to? Okay. So I will do that then. So yes, Ebony and I have a podcast called The Real Play Podcast. You can find us on just about every platform, including Apple and Google and Spotify, everything. And we've been doing it for almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in March. So
nice.
Yeah, a year and a half. So yeah, that's us.
Okay.
And I guess we'll just jump on it. I don't know.
Yeah. So what is
So you can tell us like what is your podcast about? First of all, how do you get your name? What do you guys talk about? Like let us know. Like bring us into Real Play.
Okay.
All
Do you want
right.
me to? Oh, okay. We didn't rehearse this, so
it's okay. It's okay. This is actually good too.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, funny story. So we'll just tell a little bit how the Real Play podcast came about. Sierra and I, it was probably right before the pandemic. We went out to eat. We were actually discussing something else. Turn it, Sierra. We were discussing, do you remember?
yeah. So we were at one of our spots in Glen Arden, and we were out eating. And I was telling Ebony that I had like this epiphany that I needed to start like a podcast, not a podcast, a YouTube page. Like I wanted to share my life story on YouTube. And then she was like, you know what, that sounds cool, but have you ever thought about a podcast? Because she likes to listen to podcasts, and she had some topics like on talc powder that she wanted to talk about. And I was like, oh, okay, because YouTube and a podcast they're not that different, because you can even find our shameless plug. You can find our podcast on YouTube at The Real Play Podcast.
Sierra, wait for the end, all right?
All throughout. Okay, I was a marketing major. I'm going to do this throughout.
Those subliminals.
So that's how it kind of started. Like I wanted to do this, and then she was like, well, I want to do that too, but on this type of platform. So we're like, oh, well, it's okay with me. Like, let's make it work. So then we used to go there, and we would have our little notebooks, and she'd have a little laptop, and we kind of played around with topics. We said we wanted to be educational, but from a point of view of Christian, young adults, Christian women, millennials, transplants to the area. Neither of us are from here. And so we thought it would be a good point of view coming from us to give to the world, to teach them, to let our voices be heard, which was one of the main things that we wanted to do, because there's a lot of noise out there. We wanted to kind of clear the noise and let our voices, be out there. Am I saying everything right, Evan?
No, you're saying yes.
Okay.
But one day, I'll just say how we got the name is we were trying to brainstorm on names, and I can't tell you what names we had like written down, and we were just coming up with names, and the Real Play just stuck. We liked it. And so we did some, trial things, like we recorded our voices to hear what we sounded like. We filmed ourselves on camera to see what we looked like. So we kind of like wanted to ease into the podcast thing. And then, like I said before we actually started recording, that we went to a studio and recorded our first episode. So I think that was helpful for us as well.
Using our network, it was a co-worker's studio that I work with, and he I found out he was a podcaster and they had a studio in Baltimore. So I was like,
Oh, bet.
Oh,
That's
wow.
good.
let's go ahead and put the money back into our community.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we paid for them to help us record our first one, but since then everything has been virtual. We Ebony edits the videos and the sound bites. We do Zoom to record. Like they helped us get started to get the comfort, but then after that we were kind of like, look, we're not gonna let this pandemic stop us, because we launched in March of 2020 when the world closed. Like we didn't know that was happening. So
that's funny.
But we didn't want to lose the momentum that we had. Like we told ourselves, we're gonna do this, so we couldn't stop. So
yeah,
that's really nice.
One episode that we got out of them.
One, literally. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that's good.
Do you prefer the studios or Zoom? Which type of I guess tool do you prefer when doing your podcast?
So I enjoyed the studio. We only got one little taste of it, but it was fun. It was engaging. I enjoyed that episode a lot more. But I do enjoy Zoom when we get like, the right type of guest on and we have fun, or the right topic, so it just depends. But the studio was really fun for us.
Yeah, I agree. We only got to do the studio once, but it's a different feeling to sit in the studio with the mics in front of you, and you got the sound guy over there he was to my left. You got the clock going, so you're seeing how much time is left on there.
You got a production in that studio.
There was a real studio, they are a real studio. So yeah,
edit anything. It was a great time.
Right. Oh, wow. Yeah. So I like that, because you can feed off of somebody easier when they're in person with you than when you're on Zoom, because there is a delay. As much as we love technology, we may end up talking over each other because your lips aren't moving yet on my screen. But if you're in person, like, you can look right at them and say whatever you got to say, and you can feel the energy. So I would prefer to be in person, but I'm adaptable. We adapted, and we're doing what we're doing virtually for now.
Oh,
that's really good. So can you tell us one of your most memorable podcasts so far, or guests you've had that, you were really excited, or like they changed your viewpoint? Yeah.
Wow. So we've had so many, from matchmaking to a sex therapist on. But I think I have two favorite episodes. I'll say the first one we did, because that was just, we giggled and laughed the whole time through the episode. And I also want to say, so at one point I brought on, and this was a funny story, right? I brought on a guy that I met off a dating app.
Oh, wow.
Wait. Haven't met a guy that you talked to on a dating app.
Okay.
We were actually he was supposed to, because of the pandemic, we weren't able to do this, thank God, but he was supposed to ride with me. I was supposed to pick up Sierra because I wasn't trying to ride by myself. Did I say that?
Might have been.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But we were supposed to ride to the studio because we had a couple of more sessions, I feel like. We're going to ride to the studio in Baltimore. He was going to come to my apartment, never seen him in person, drive, we were going to record.
You're bold. For that.
You trying to get the best episode for the podcast.
Yeah.
For the podcast.
Yeah, it is a story. So to tell, but yeah.
And we still made it. He still made it to the podcast. It was virtual. They had their first virtual meeting. And that was one of the first few episodes. It might have been like number 3 and 4.
Yeah. It was hilarious.
That's nice.
Oh, wow.
But for me, I like any of the episodes we have when we're talking with guys and getting a guy's perspective on relationships. I think that those are interesting because we don't think the same, and they just swear they're right, and we just swear that we're right. And
it's just like, look, you're outnumbered. There's 3.
I know.
He's always outnumbered. Like, we're walking down the street outnumbered with Foley one time, and he just knew he was right. He just knew it. I'm like, it's me and another girl against you. Come on now. And then we found a random stranger.
Really, you gotta bring that story up.
We found a random stranger. His name is Tracy. I stopped him. I was like, "Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you a question?" And he proved my point. No, he did not. Okay, he did not. But I love those episodes because they get passionate. And they usually get a lot of feedback from our listeners. And then I like the episodes when people are very transparent. So we had someone come on and she was talking about having PCOS and her infertility. And a lot of people don't talk about things like that. So that was one of our episodes that had the most listens because people could relate. And when people are really open, it kind of it draws you into it. So the whole thing behind the name, The Real Play, like I always wanted us to be real, like have real conversations, our real opinions, our real thoughts. And so we try to keep that, and we try for our guests to bring that too.
I love it. That's really nice.
That's great. Have you, I have two questions. Have you had like a listener, listen to your podcast, like, wow, this really touched me. Like I learned so much from, regardless relationship, life, school. Have you had those feedbacks from any listeners?
So I personally haven't had someone say that it touched them, moved them, made them think of something differently. I've just had them say, that was a really good episode. I enjoyed it. You guys were funny. I like how you guys were opposite, or I like the way the conversation was going. I've had those, but no one actually comes and says, you taught me something. And we've had people come on there, talk about finances. They say they like it and talk about matchmaking, but they haven't come back with that type of feedback.
And so I know with doing a podcast too, there's always very unsuspected things happen and challenges. What are some of your challenges that you face?
We're perfect. We are perfect.
Okay, that makes
no
sense.
challenges.
Right, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
For Real Play.
All right. Well,
no, I don't know. I mean, what are our challenges? Maybe having to reschedule sometimes because we had the surgeon. Was he a surgeon? We were about to start and he was still in surgery. The husband, the engaged gentleman.
Oh, yes.
He was going to surgery, or his surgery ran late. It was like a last minute, like we were all on and his fiance was on, and but there's nothing you can do. Like he's important. So there's been like those type of like last minute changes. But I don't think.
Is your recordings live? That's another thing. When you just said they were to record, are your podcasts like live, like say 7 p.m. people can log in and listen live, or they're pre-recorded?
They are pre-recorded.
Okay. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
So we haven't jumped into the live arena.
Yeah. Okay.
I would do that though.
I was like, oh, you had to cancel the whole show.
Okay.
I mean, we did talk about it, like I think once or something, about possibly doing like a live on Facebook or a live version, but we've never jumped into it. We did do a Instagram live, but with that, it's not the same because it's that was bad. But
those are the screen lives. You could be looking like this the whole time.
It was bad. I mean, it wasn't good. So, but we I don't know. Do you guys ever do live? Were you asking us questions? Y'all ever do live?
We don't do live. We do pre-recorded because it's so much easier. Like you can post it when you want to post it. I think sometimes it's just we're not there at the live state just yet, like you just mentioned. I enjoy.
we had friends that did it live too. I remember one of my friends did it live. Enyo, the Bella Noir, she did it live, and the Africanists, they've done it live before too.
Yeah, that's some of our guests that we've had on the show.
Do they do it live on YouTube or
Instagram?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But Africanus has their own, like,
they did do a live
into their like their thing, their own. It's not on Instagram, but they have like a section where they're actually on live. So that's what they've been doing. Yeah.
Cool.
So
one challenge I did think about when y'all were talking is one, having a 9-to-5 and also having the podcast on the side. Like, editing, make sure like social media, the content, it becomes like, you do it once, you do it twice, you do it 3 times, you do it 3 months, it becomes a lot. And so you have to find like the perfect balance,
I definitely agree with you on that. I think that's just like with us starting, because we started during the pandemic too. Wow. So literally we're like around the same age. Our business is around the same age. Yeah. So just having learn that balance between our personal lives, our work life, and then also work on the business. Like, it's kind of like that pull, but you are so passionate about this. We're passionate about our business, but it's like sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, okay, I have to do that now. And like switching gears and balancing and still staying relevant even within all of the things that are going on in all of our lives.
Right.
Yeah, which also leads me to like I'm sure you probably get this question a lot too, but I know people are like saying, "Oh man, I would love to do a podcast too, but I have to, I have this 9 to 5 job." What advice would you give to someone that's trying to, still juggle their 9 to 5, but also do their own business or podcast as well too?
So,
you said good luck.
I mean, yeah, what I would say is like, your 9 to 5 is going to pay your bills most of the time. It's not going to be your passion. It's not going to be what wakes you up in the morning. Well, I actually have my job that does that now. It's great. It took a long time to get it, but that usually doesn't happen. So you got the thing that's paying your bills, but where your passion lies, if it's whether it's in a business or a podcast or whatever, let that passion grow each day to drive you to do great things. Like don't sit on it like, man, I got a job and I got to work. Because you shouldn't be living to work. You really shouldn't. You should be trying to be happy. So, and you never know, because this side thing like podcast, you can make money. Of course, a side job can become a career and become a big business with multiple people working under you. So don't let, I was going to say the man. I don't mean like, don't let your job hold you back from your dreams. Because a lot of people will let that happen. And I was stuck in contracting for 11 years. And I wasn't not happy, but I also wasn't happy. And I jumped out and I'm doing something different now and I love it. But then the podcast was an outlet before I even got to a job that I liked. So yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
I like that advice.
Yeah, that's a great advice too.
I'm gonna go ahead and get that trademark registered, whatever it needs to be. So like coins.
Yeah, I mean that is great advice too. Yeah, but I know, like myself, I was like, man, this job, like you're doing the same thing over and over again, and like, man, what is there anything to life than this?
Right, exactly. So,
I'd be like thinking about life lessons and all these stuff. Like, man, what is the meaning of life?
It is not to go to work. It is not to go there.
It's definitely true.
True. Yeah, it's to walk with Sierra and argue with her
around the 3 miles of the neighborhood.
Trying to make you know the answer, okay? Bring you to the side where you
argue it all the way from the McDonald's all the way around. Like,
I know.
Yo.
And she's like, no, it's like this. It's like, I'm joking.
I really want to go into the topic because I got them on here, but I ain't even gonna do that.
Don't
I'll wait until after the recording is over.
Okay.
Cool.
Yes.
You can do that.
Keep open mind, ladies, but I already.
Okay, next question. I want to ask, what else do you guys? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, it's the feedback. I'm like trying to,
Oh yeah.
But I would say one piece of advice I do have is, the days get long, right? So you work your 9 to 5, you have to do stuff for your side business. The days get long. So, just keep your why in mind. And possibly like think about, because we have people that watch the podcast. So if we don't post, we're like, someone's going to glean something from this episode or, learn something or need something. And so that's what keeps us keep posting content, because it is actually helpful, to someone, whether it makes you laugh or makes you think a little bit.
That's really good. That's good.
Oh, can I go back one more question?
Yes, of course.
When you said the hardships, let me tell you, since we added video, okay, there's been some hard days where I done took braids out and we were about to record on that day and my scalp be out dry. I'd be like, let me slap a wig on. Like, you got to put something on, make your face look good. Girl, that is a hardship.
Yeah, it is. Like sometimes I don't want to put makeup on and I'm like, I'm gonna look dry if I don't. Like,
comb my hair today.
Yeah, let me just put it to let's just stay on this angle.
Right.
It's like this the
don't
whole
forget
time.
Though, don't get on the podcast and talk and then be like, you know what? I was supposed to stay on this side. I wasn't supposed to.
Right. I've done that before. Like I literally had crochets only on one side and then I had a Ebony didn't know at the time though, but I had crochets. Like I had just done the front real quick and I had like a little thing in the back. Didn't nobody know, but I was rough up under there.
I don't have my hair done, right? I'm like,
so that's a struggle. If you're gonna do podcasting and it's just your voice, that's one thing. But we, I think Ebony brought it up that people like podcasts where you can see the person and you can see them interacting. She suggested adding video, so we did for the second season, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. But then I thought about it, I was like, wait. I
gotta get dressed for
plan.
these sessions.
Gotta be together. Like
that's so true.
That's become a lot because you don't want to see what we look like before we started video. Like whatever I had on is what we was gonna record.
Right.
Y'all had bonnets on.
Glasses, no makeup.
All they need to do is hear your voice. So they didn't know about the rest
so it didn't matter. Definitely didn't matter. But now it's like, dang, are my eyebrows filled in? Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be together.
That's one part about podcasts too. And I think I told Sierra this is, so you get on the podcast, you're talking, you say something, and then maybe you change your mind later on that topic, or you just don't have a way to like interact with people and say, oh, well, I thought this at the time. I really don't think that no more. Or I got a little bit more information, or, just provide more of a,
once it's out, it's out. Like, but the only thing you can do is like say something to clear things up in the next episode, but you never know if the listeners
is the same person before. Yeah, you're right.
So you got to think about your words, I guess, and be kind of sure what you're going to say, because your words can mean certain things to certain people. And that was one thing that got brought up too. Like something I said offended someone and it wasn't meant in a way to offend, but they were offended. And it wasn't even like a derogatory thing that was said, but it was just the way that they were interpreting it. And you can't always make everyone happy. People are going to have their own backgrounds and their own reasons for feeling certain things. So you can try to be as PG and, perfect for everyone, but you're never going to please everyone. But then at the same time, don't censor yourself to please the world, because then you're censoring yourself and you're not pleasing yourself and being true to yourself or being real. So it's a balance. You have to know, like, people are listening to what we're saying. So we have to think about it and like, what do we want? How do we want ourselves to be portrayed?
And keep in mind, we don't have any questions written that we did when we first started. We used to have a list of questions. I don't even know if we used to send it to people, maybe, but we literally say, hey, this is the topic. This is what we think we want to talk about. And
what do you not want us to ask you? That's the only thing. And then other than that, it's just talking.
Oh, that's nice. That's actually good.
And even with that. It's just me and Sierra and we don't have a guest, we literally say, hit record, whatever comes up. Do
you remember that one time in the news? Like,
we have talked about news stuff.
We never say like, cut that out or take that out, or I don't really think I should have said that. It's just like, go ahead.
It is what it is.
Yeah, literally. So my question to you guys is, what's next for Real Play now? So you've done podcasts without video. Now you're doing with video. So what can we expect from Real Play? You don't have to go drop everything, but what can our viewers who are interested in checking you out, what can they expect from you guys?
Well, we haven't really thought about this, but I will say what they can do. They can start off by following us on Instagram.
I like it.
At the Real Play Podcast. Following us, liking us, subscribing on all the social media platforms. We're the same across Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Don't go to Twitter.
Well, we don't use Twitter a lot, but we have it. They can also go into their Apple or Google and hit the subscribe button there. That's how we're going to start, because you got to get to know us. You got to listen to us. You'll fall in love and you're going to want to hear us every Tuesday.
And what's the question? I'm sorry, my Wi-Fi.
Oh, I was asking what's next for you guys?
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
But other than them, I'm guessing, since we haven't really talked about it, maybe Ebony, we can talk about doing things live.
Yeah.
We've done like live interactions with listeners, like Zooms, and we're playing games and 90s themed and all that stuff. We've done that, but we haven't had like an actual episode. And I know we have talked about wanting to have people on live to ask them questions. And so maybe that could be next.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, nice. That sounds fun too. So thank you so much for being on our show today too. This was a great time too. Like I said, you guys heard the Instagram. Please check out all platforms, correct?
Yes.
All
All
platforms.
platforms. Okay, cool.
At the Real Play.
And
At
yes,
the
Real
Real
Play.
Play
At
podcast.
the Real Play. Yeah.
Yes.
But like I said, thank you so much for being on the show. Oh, one more question too.
Uh-oh.
Totally trying to cut you off already.
No. I always. So we wanted to do something different.
Oh God.
Yeah. Oh no. This ain't this ain't no OnlyFans stuff or something.
Okay.
No. We wanted to ask our viewers, like, what did they always wanted to be when they were kids? Like, what type of career or even fantasy did you always wanted to do when you were a kid?
This is funny only because I recently found some stuff that I wrote when I was a kid. So I guess I wanted to be a zoologist because I guess I liked animals. I don't remember that. I do remember a lot playing like I was a newscaster and I would give fake news.
Well, you do have the April O'Neil gear.
Was that a shot? Or you trying to come for me? Listen, my hair is terrible, y'all.
No, I saw the yellow. You know how April O'Neil wear yellow?
No,
this is mustard.
Oh,
mustard.
Get it with the seasons.
Oh, okay.
It's fall now.
Okay.
Oh.
The mustard. Yeah, I think that's what I wanted to do. But what I remember wanting to be in high school was I wanted to be a part of the NBA Cares program where you pair NBA players, because I played basketball for majority of my life, with community service projects. And so they would go out into the community and do things. So you would be the person to do that. And that's actually what I'm doing as a job right now. Except for I'm doing it with individuals at my agency, pairing them with community service organizations.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's come
I just got to get to the NBA.
Yes, you're going to get there.
You're gonna get there.
That's exciting.
Yeah, mine was generic. I wanted to be, I don't know how I was going to be all three, but a nurse, a doctor, and a teacher. I don't know how I was going to wrap that up. And then when I first went off to college, I was thinking about being a physician assistant, only because they told me if you're a doctor, one, I didn't want to spend that long in school. And they also told me like, you can get sued and blah, blah, blah. So I was going to take the physician assistant route, but
well, you could have done all of them, because you got to start as a nurse.
Yeah.
And then from the nurse, you work up to the PA, and then you can work up to the doctor. And then when you're done, because my mom, she's an LPN right now, but she also teaches. She teaches nurses. So you could have done all of that, like in that one career. But yes, she still is in school and still keeping her certificates and credits and all of that. And so it's like, you can never stop learning if you went that route.
Yeah,
that's so true.
That's true.
You would be at school right now. I'd be like, Ebony, can we record? You'd be like, no, I got a test tomorrow.
But I like learning to a certain extent. So maybe that would have been fun for me. I don't know, but
yeah,
it's canceled now. So
it's never too late.
I don't even think I want to. I said I love learning, but I don't think I want to learn that much. Not even.
Yeah.
There's levels of learning.
Yeah.
There's a cap.
Yeah.
At a certain age, you're like, yeah.
You think about going to sit in someone's classroom?
Nah.
Yeah, I used to in my one of my biology classes. We had this lady. She was maybe in her 60s. Come sit down, and I think it was like botany. First of all, this lady cheated on her test. Her exam, her last exam. I was like, I'm so done with school. I almost told on her.
You was about to
tell? She was sitting right beside me, and I saw like her have the slip of paper under her test.
Wow.
She had the answers with me, so I wanted.
You was cheating too?
No.
Oh, she wouldn't share.
Paper, trying to cheat. But she had her paper covered up. Oh, okay. I should tell that you're cheating since you wouldn't even like help me out.
Yeah. Okay. So if I fail this test, at least I'm taking you down with me.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious.
Like, yeah.
Let me slide you my answers real quick. We're gonna do this together.
Like, you can slide me an A. Girl, it's A.
Exactly.
Right. Or one tap for A, two taps for B. Like, she could have made it work.
Right. Cover for your paper.
That's too funny.
Cheating.
Ebony was jealous. Like, how you gonna cheat that shit?
It was like the final exam too.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Yeah. But like, thank you so much for being on our show too. And guys, their podcast is really great. It's even great for guys too. I also listen to it too. I know it's hard to believe, but I do listen to it because Sierra's my friend. So, but
thank you for the support.
Yeah, it is a great podcast too, and it's funny and it's smart at the same time too, and it's different as well. So you guys can jump into any episode, but yeah, please support too. It's a great podcast.
Yes,
at the Real Play Podcast.
I love it. So thank you guys. Oh my gosh, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys coming on the show today, sharing your perspective, talking about your journey, and we really wish you the best for all your further endeavors. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. So yeah, you'll
hang up
because we're gonna do a closing.
We do that too.
Yeah.
That's why we need to be like bye, but then put a little smile.
Yeah. So I guess
we'll hang up now.
Yeah, you got it.
We'll check y'all out. Make sure y'all check us out.
Of course.
Yeah.
We got you.
So that was an amazing episode, Real Play.
It was.
We have two phenomenal women doing phenomenal things in the podcast space. So check them out at The Real Play. They've said at every social media platform. So
yeah,
and you could go ahead and do that.
And you could also check us out on every social media platform too, which is Reley Careers Services LLC at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. Not Twitter, but we'll get it. Yet. Yeah, not yet. But and what was the other one?
Also, if you need any career services advice, career services, we do resumes, cover letters, interview prep, post-interview activities as well. We're here to support you,
career counseling,
help you on your on your journey. So thank you guys for watching today's episode, and we'll check you guys out. So come back for the next one.
Peace out.
Deuces.